who are being protected by the power of God through faith for a salvation ready to be revealed in the last time. In all this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These trials have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, even though your faith is far more precious than mere gold, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Even though you have not seen him, you love him, and even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and rejoice with an indescribable and glorious joy. For you are receiving the end result of your faith, the salvation of your souls. Amen. Today's sermon is entitled Moving Forward and will be delivered by Pastor Amy Watkins.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The grace and peace of Christ be with all of us today. Well, today let me say again, Happy Easter to everyone. Hey? If you're thinking, hold on, wasn't Easter last Sunday? Yes, Easter was last Sunday, but today we also want to keep that Easter excitement, keep that Easter celebration going. Many of you know that at the end of the year we celebrate 12 days of Christmas. There's even a song about it with a partridge in a pear tree. 12 days of joy to celebrate the incarnation of God. 12 days to celebrate the birth of God on earth in Jesus. That's because sometimes things are just too good to let them go past too quickly. Sometimes one day just isn't enough time to express all of our joy and all of our happiness. But at Easter time, we don't just take 12 days to celebrate. We celebrate for 7 weeks. For 7 Sundays, a whole week of Sundays. We celebrate the good news, the great news, the fantastic news that Christ is risen and that he is the winner over evil. So yes, Easter Sunday was last week, but I really hope that you're still in the celebration mood. And if you're not, I hope we can encourage you to keep that celebration going today. Sadly though, I know that some people haven't even started to celebrate yet. During the week I spoke with a lady who was still a bit confused about why Easter was so special. She knew the Easter story, she knew all about it, she knew that Jesus rose from the dead, she just wasn't too sure what that had to do with her. If Jesus rose from the dead, well, that was certainly good news for him, and that showed the world that he was really gone. But did that change her life at all? Sure, we can be happy for Jesus, but do we have any reason to be happy for ourselves at Easter? Of course we do. Of course we do. Easter isn't just good news for Jesus, it's good news for all of us, for every single one of us. As we saw last week, Jesus' resurrection has changed everything. Changed it all forever. Because Jesus is risen, because Jesus is the winner. We know now that death is no longer the end. We know that the evil and the meanness and the sin of this world, that they've lost. They have no power over us. And we can now live in hope, knowing that nothing's ever going to separate us from the love of God. Not evil, not sin, not even death itself will separate us from God's love. We still take the effects of evil seriously, but we don't have to live in fear of it anymore. Because Christ is risen, he's also saved us. He's given us a new life too. A life of joy, a life of hope, a life that's saved from all of the fears and worries that had held us back before. That's why in today's text, Peter jumps straight in with praise. He launches straight away into this amazing praise of God in verse 3. He doesn't want his church members, and he doesn't want us either, to forget this amazingly good news. So, he tries to wrap up the whole gospel message for us into just 2 or 3 sentences. The text today is kind of difficult. It's a bit hard to follow because it's so compact. He tries to cram everything in. Praise God, he says. Praise God. Even now, so many years after Easter, keep praising God. Because it's through the resurrection, it's through Christ's victory that God has given us not only new life, but something even more amazing. New hope. He's given us new hope. He's given us a living hope. That's an odd expression, a living hope. But the word that Peter uses here, the word living, that's the same word that's often used in the Bible for spring water, for water that the Bible calls living water, water that comes out of a mountain spring. If you've ever had a chance to go to a natural spring before, maybe in Yangmingshan or other mountains, it can be an amazing thing to see. It's to see the water just coming out of the mountain. The water just flows out of the ground or it flows out of the rocks and it bursts out so fresh and clean and it just keeps coming. It just keeps coming out and coming out. Peter tells us because Jesus is risen, that's the type of hope that we now have too. We have a living hope, a hope that doesn't stop, a hope that just keeps coming, a hope that can't be blocked because we know now that there's nothing left in this world that has the power to stop our hope. Like a mountain spring, we have a hope that's fresh, a hope that's cool, a hope that overflows us, a hope that has no limits, a hope that never runs out. The other great thing about spring water is that we don't need to do anything for it. We didn't need to do anything to get it or to enjoy it. We didn't need to do all of the hard work of digging a well or setting in pipes or pumps or machinery to deliver the water. The water's just there. It's ready for us just freely to walk up to and enjoy. In today's text, Peter reminds us that the hope and salvation we get from God is just the same. It's just like that. We didn't need to do anything for it. We didn't need to work for it. Instead, God did everything for us already, all according to His great mercy. Like a natural mountain spring, we did nothing to deserve it. We played no part in making it or creating it. We just walked along and found it. There it is. There it is, a gift of nature already offered to us, already given to us freely. The salvation that Jesus gives us is just the same. We don't deserve it. We haven't done anything for it. And really there's no way that we could possibly do anything for it or to deserve it. Because Christ has already done everything for us. Christ already died and rose again for us long before we were even born. Long before we knew anything about Christ, long before we knew anything about who He was or had heard about His work of salvation for us, He was all already finished and done, all already prepared for us. And Christ gives it out to us in His mercy, in His love, in His grace. He gives it out to us, to every single one of us, simply as a wonderful gift. A gift of His grace and love. Isn't that wonderful? We were simply born into this amazing world already full of God's grace and love. We were just born into this situation with this gift already prepared, already waiting for us, without us having to do anything. That's something to really praise God for. But even better, Peter reminds us that this gift of God, this gift that God gives us, can never be destroyed. Sadly, in this world, we really do have the ability to destroy a lot. We have the ability to destroy the wonderful gifts that God has given us. We look around us and we see how we've covered the earth with rubbish, we fill creation with pollution, we destroy the environment that's around us. This world is God's handiwork. This world is His loved and valuable creation. And yet somehow we end up disrespecting it or ruining it or tearing it down. That's a terrible thing to see. So sometimes in our faith lives, we worry about whether we've managed to ruin God's gift to us, to wreck God's gift of salvation. Maybe we haven't looked after it enough. Maybe we haven't cared for it enough. Have we ruined that too? But whereas this world and this creation are things that we do seem to have the power to destroy, this is where Peter reminds us that the gift of loving salvation that God's given to us is not something that we can destroy. It can never be destroyed no matter how hard we try. Peter tells us this gift can never perish, never spoil, never fade. There is no power that can break it. There's no power that can separate us from the love and grace of Christ. Whether that's powers outside of us or whether that's our own foolishness, our own problems, our own mistakes. Our many sins, they can't ruin it. They can't pollute it. No matter how bad our sins are, no matter how serious the mistakes in our life have been, they can't spoil or destroy God's love for us. And this gift of loving salvation, that's never going to fade away. It's never going to run out. God's never going to take it back. As Peter tells us in verse 6, these are all things that are really worth rejoicing greatly about. What great news that we have this gift from God. And this isn't just good news for Jesus, it's amazing and fantastic news for each one of us here, for every single person, for all of us. It really is a reason for us to shout out in joy and to be glad. In verse 8, Peter tells us to rejoice with an indescribable and glorious joy. An indescribable and glorious joy. I think that's great advice for us. I really think that's great advice that none of us should forget this Easter season. Christ has done so much for us. He's prepared so much for us. He's given so much for us. That all we have left to do now is to rejoice. To rejoice with this indescribable and glorious joy. But there's always a but. There's always a but. Somehow, people might say, this all sounds too good to be true. On the one hand, yes, we do want to celebrate. We want to celebrate Christ because He's the winner. We want to celebrate Christ because He's defeated evil and hell and death, and He's given us the wonderful gift of His salvation and His grace. That's a good reason to live with hope and joy. That's a good reason to celebrate. But on the other hand, each of us knows from our own experiences that even after Easter, a lot of our problems are still here. A lot of our problems haven't disappeared. Every day we still have to face suffering and troubles. We still have to face countless frustrations. Every day we have to put up with attacks from people who sometimes seem so determined to hurt us, to block us, to fill our lives with suffering, who even try their best to destroy us at times. Even worse, many times the people who act this way towards us, many people who hurt us, it seems like they don't even do it for a good reason. How many times have you been hurt or treated badly by someone and then you just sit back and think to yourself, what did I ever do? What did I ever do to that person to be treated that way? We try to be good, we try to be right and just and respectful, but sometimes people don't need a good reason to want to hurt us. So yes, on the one hand, we want to celebrate Christ as the winner in this Easter season. But somehow, on the other hand, in our day-to-day lives, many of us don't always feel like we're sharing in that victory. And we get to share in Jesus' victory. If you feel that way, know that that's not anything new. This isn't a new feeling or a new problem at all. It's actually the reason why Peter is writing his letter today. It's the reason he's writing this letter to his church members, because they were feeling this same way. Yes, Christ is risen, and yes, Christ is the winner, But somehow in their own faith lives, things weren't going so well. The believers in Peter's church used to be respectable people. They had been part of society. They had been accepted members of the community, looked up to. But now that they had become Christians, everything had seemed to change. And things changed for the worse. Now they found themselves rejected and pushed aside. Because in those days, it wasn't a very respectable thing to be a Christian. It wasn't a very respectable thing to be a follower of Jesus. Christians were often looked down on as some kind of weird group of people, some weird sect. People cursed them, people made fun of them, even chased other Christians away. Worst of all, it was often their friends and neighbours and families who were treating them this way. It was often their work colleagues, their business partners, their school friends who were troubling them this way and treating them so badly. I think in Taiwan we're really very lucky. In Taiwan we're so lucky to have such an open and welcoming place where we can live. An open and welcoming place where we have people of all different religions, all in the same place, all living together. Even if I tell a secret, even here in the EM, we have lots of people of different religions and backgrounds here together. It's a wonderful blessing that we have in Taiwan. But even here, I think some of us have experienced this type of trouble before. I think some of us have also experienced this type of exclusion before. Because we've chosen to follow Jesus. We've chosen to try and do what we believe is right. Some of us here, especially those of us who are first generation Christians, know what it's like to be pushed aside because of our faith. We know what it's like to be left out and rejected because we're trying to live a new life. We're trying our hardest to live a good new life. And for many of us here, it's not been managers who've treated us badly, but often it's been the people who are closest to us in life. The people who succeed in hurting us most, the people who succeed in making us miserable the most. They're not strangers on the street, but could be friends of ours, colleagues of ours, people close to us, even family members. So what's going on here? What's going on? We've been on such a high from Easter. We've been on such a high from all these great Easter celebrations, rejoicing and singing and praising Christ for everything that He's achieved. But at the same time, life still seems so full of annoyances, so full of pain and trials. So did Jesus win or not at Easter? Did He win or not? I think there are 2 points that are important for us to remember here. First, it's important that we hold on to the Easter message of good news. It's really important that we hold on to that. Make no mistake, Christ is really, really the winner over death and sin and evil. As we saw last week, the early church proclaimed to everyone, the risen Christ is the winner. The risen Christ has pulled down death and sin and evil, has destroyed their power and has trampled them under His feet. They are really dead and defeated. Really. The only problem is that, as Jesus tells us in Matthew 24:28, wherever the corpse is, there the vultures will gather. Or, since I grew up in Australia, I prefer to say, where the dead body is, there the flies will gather. Australia has a lot of flies. The good news of Easter is that evil really is defeated and destroyed. But the problem is now that around evil's dead body, the flies start to swarm. It's those flies that irritate and annoy us every day. Evil is dead and defeated, but some people, like flies, seem to feed off evil's rotting corpse. Evil is dead and defeated, but that doesn't seem to stop some people really trying to devote themselves to this lost cause, trying to devote themselves to this dead and lost and failed project of evil and meanness. Like swarms of flies, they buzz around us, surrounding us and trying to bring us down or distract us from our path. And sometimes we join in. But haven't we experienced that before? Haven't we all experienced this before? It happens so often. We're having a really good day. Things are going great. Things are going so well. Everything's going to plan. When all of a sudden, an annoying buzzy fly comes in. Someone comes in to trouble us, to block our way, to frustrate us, to stop us moving forward. At our house, we have one of those electric tennis rackets. Do you know those fantastic Taiwanese inventions? One of those electric tennis rackets that you use for zapping the mosquitoes. They're really great. They're fantastic. Sometimes during my day, I wish I had a really big one that I could use for zapping all the annoyances and frustrations that come my way. It sounds good. It sounds like it would really work well. But the only trouble is, I think it probably would fail in the end. Maybe your mosquito killing skills are better than mine, but I find that when I'm working away in my study and a mosquito comes in, I quickly go and grab the racket, I try to follow it around, and I spend the next 5 or 6 minutes trying to chase this mosquito through the room. And the problem with the Taiwanese mosquitoes is they have this really great ability of just disappearing. You think, oh, I've just got it, and then it's like gone. You don't know where it's disappeared to. And then I try to get back to work, I try to get back to concentrating, but it seems so hopeless. I've gotten distracted, and I have one eye on my work, and I spend the rest of the time looking out of the corner of my eye to see where that mosquito's gone, to see if it's going to come back. I think in our daily life it's often the same. We walk joyfully through life when the flies of evil start buzzing around us and making us miserable. People come and say bad things to us. Maybe they treat us unfairly, say something to hurt us. Often the result of that is that it really derails our whole day. Often we feel like everything was going well, and then suddenly it's turned a corner and everything's going badly. We spend our time then trying to lash out at the flies, trying to wave at them. We get turned around, we get distracted from the things we were supposed to be doing. We get distracted even from the joy of life. Or even worse, we join in with the flies. We join in and then we angrily buzz around and annoy and hurt others too. That leads us to the second important point. The second important point that Peter's trying to tell us today. In this life, yes, there's going to be troubles. Yes, there's going to be annoyances. And yes, there's even going to be serious trials and serious suffering. Sometimes we'll feel like we're just being attacked all around by these buzzing flies. But even so, Peter tells us, don't let them distract you. Don't let them stop you from moving forward in the direction God wants you to go. In chapters 2 and 3, Peter reminds us of Christ's own example. When Christ was abused and insulted, he didn't try to get back at people. He didn't stop and try to plot revenge. When he was treated badly by others, he didn't join in and become like them either. He didn't let them distract him from his path. Our American friends have a really nice saying. They say, haters gonna hate. Some people will just do their best to cause trouble. Some people will just do their best to hurt us or to pull us down or to stop us moving forward. But I think the best thing we can do is just keep going. Just keep going. Keep moving towards our goal. Keep on seeking God's kingdom. Keep on doing what we know is right. And not to let ourselves get too distracted by these things. If we can prevent evil, if we can create justice and fairness and do good, that's really great. That really is really great. As Christians, that's what we should do. We should want to push back against evil where we can. But sometimes the best way to do that is simply by refusing to join in. Simply by refusing to give up on doing what is right. Refusing to be distracted from the path of goodness, no matter how much others may annoy us or try and pull us out of the way. A foreign friend of mine here in Taipei used to complain to me all the time that whenever he tried walking down the streets are so busy here that people would always bump into him. They'd always bump into him or knock into him, and it drove him really crazy. He was just always complaining, I can't even manage to walk down the street. It was like a battle just to do that. Then last month, I met up with him, and he excitedly told me how he'd finally figured it out. He said to me, after 20 years of living here in Taiwan, he's finally figured out how to walk down the street without problems. He said, and you can test it if you like, I don't know if it's true, but he said, the trick is just to look straight ahead at the place you want to go and just keep on going. And he said, then other people will get out of your way. Keep your eyes on the destination and just go. Don't look around, don't get distracted, just keep your eyes on the destination and go. I thought that was cute. But in our faith life, I think the saying is very true. We need to keep our eyes on the goal. We need to hold on to Jesus as our vision. And that way, I think we get to really just keep moving through the troubles of life. After all, the good news of Easter is that all of those troubles, in the end, they're just going to be short-lived. They can't defeat us because Christ has already won the battle. So don't let them distract us or make us afraid. And don't let them push us out of our path. The vision and the goal that Christ gives us is to love God and to love each other and to keep walking joyfully together with Him, to keep on going down the road together with Him. That's what Jesus wants us to focus on. That's what He wants us to keep our eyes on. So let's give that a go. Let's keep that vision. Let's keep our eyes straight ahead. Let's keep moving forward. And most importantly, let's keep rejoicing with an indescribable and glorious joy. Let's pray together. Our Lord Christ, there's no way that we can thank You enough for everything You've done for us. You are the winner over evil. Because You are risen, because You have won, we don't need to live in fear. You have given us love and the unchanging gift of new life. You have poured Your gift of mercy and love out on each one of us here and on the whole world. So help us today not to get distracted by the annoyances and troubles of life. Help us to keep our eyes focused on You. And give us the strength and courage to keep moving forward, always rejoicing and always filled with Your joy. In Your holy name we pray. Amen.